Hi, welcome back to my channel, Absurd City. I'm your host, Hides, and today we're going to be looking into the phenomena known as parental estrangement, or adult children who are going no contact with their parents. I myself am an adult child who is no contact with my parents. I'm coming up on 2 years in July where I will have been no contact with my parents, and I gotta say, life has gotten a lot better for me. I feel a lot freer. I feel renewed and fresh because you really cannot heal in the place that made you sick, and I was trying to heal in the place that made me sick. I was trying to be around the people that hurt me the most in my life and who were never actually on my team, were quite frankly trying to subvert my life and my position in life by coming against me unbeknownst to me. I thought that my parents had my best interest in mind, and I really had to take a step back and realize and look at it objectively. What are they doing? Are they actually trying to talk to me, communicate with me in a way that is loving and compromise with me, or are they self-serving, self-centered, and they view me as an enemy? And none of this is to place all of the blame of my actions and decisions in my life on my parents, because I am obviously responsible for myself. As a child, I was never deserving of the treatment that I got, the neglect that I endured from both of my parents. However, as an adult, yes, I am responsible for myself, and I am happy with the decision that I made. So anyways, let's get into this video. This is from Estranged Parents, the YouTube channel. It's called Your Assumptions Are Wrong, Parental Estrangement.
Estranged parents sharing their experiences with estrangement on public platforms a problem? I get a lot of interesting comments on this channel, and this one I thought I'd talk about because I get this comment pretty regularly. I don't know what happened between you and your daughter, and it's clear you are in pain, and I am truly sorry for that. However, going about it the way you have and publicizing the situation to the entire world in hopes to shame her into contacting you is a surefire way of ensuring she remains no contact. She clearly needed time and space. If you respected that boundary, then things may have over time changed, but you did not. Instead, you involved the entire internet. I truly hope that someday you and your daughter can reconcile, but as a pastor, I can tell you I've dealt with families in similar situations, and the way you are handling this is not the way that will lead to any form of reconciliation. I would like to thank
I'm going to say out the gate, I don't appreciate the music that this lady has edited into her videos. It's highly manipulative. Video is inherently manipulative because when you create a video, you're creating an object, and you can manipulate the video, you can manipulate the object. It bothers me when talking about things like this. She is making like a spectacle out of this situation that she's in with her daughter, and yeah, she's really just sealed the coffin shut. I mean, maybe it was already sealed from the daughter's perspective. Maybe she didn't want anything to do with her mom for the rest of her life. And you know, this woman, she can make the decision to bring this public. However, it does leave like a bad taste in my mouth and many other people's mouths when we look at stuff like this, and it's just like, this is kind of really messy. You're airing out your dirty laundry with your child, and you're on the end where you're actually the abuser in this situation. Children, when like adult children, yeah, we're adults now, but when it comes to our parents, we were children to our parents. The dynamic was never equal. There was always a power dynamic and a power play involved, and she's just continuing it now.
All Saints Church for their empathy. It is an interesting comment, and there is a faulty assumption in here. I did not put this video out here in hopes of shaming her. I put this video out for the benefit of other parents. A lot of other parents are going through this, and they're alone, they're confused.
I have a hard time believing her that this had nothing to do with shaming her daughter, because it seems like it absolutely does. I'll react to the original video that that comment is talking about at some point, and we can get into that and start a discussion on our thoughts on all of that, because to me, this is just like her reaching out to other estranged parents is just a byproduct of her wanting to like crap all over her daughter on the internet publicly.
They feel so much shame. They think they're the only person going through it. They have no one else to talk to, and I thought long and hard before putting that original video out, and I did it in a way that was very different from how people typically talk about estrangement, at least on YouTube. I did it in a very vloggy, emotional style to
I mean, I feel like she thinks that she's like revolutionary here in this like spectrum of the internet in this part of the world or the internet world. She thinks like she's like unique and doing something different, and it's just like you made like a vlog style, like documentary style of your poor relationship, your lacking relationship with one of your daughters. I don't know. It's just weird. It leaves a weird taste in my mouth. Like I said, like this is just weird.
really convey what it feels like as a parent going through this kind of cutoff. At the time I made that video, we had been 3 years of no contact. It had been 3 years since the cutoff. And 1.5 years into that, I happened to stumble onto her TikTok account, which I didn't know existed.
So that's a really big red flag. This lady to me screams, she's screaming to me without actually saying it, that she demands total control over her kids. That is what she's screaming. This woman thinks that her child is an extension of herself, like a clone of herself. And she has control over herself, therefore she deserves to have control over her child. That is a huge breach of privacy. I mean, like, okay, let me back up, because it is on the public internet. Anybody can access it, okay? If you're an estranged child making content, anybody can find and stumble upon your content. I don't believe that she just happened to stumble upon this. I guarantee, from my own experience with my own toxic parents, that this woman was searching and Googling her child day in and day out and trying to research and get any kind of information she can. And then she was finally closing the gap between her child who's missing out in the world, who she doesn't know where she is, and finding her on the internet. And then she found her child's TikTok. And she was probably, you know what, this mother, she gives very much mean girl energy. And she's probably over the freaking moon finding this. And she probably had this like, this thought of like, ha, found you, got you. I'm just making assumptions, but I'm sure they're not far off.
For that, and found her talking about her estrangement publicly on TikTok. So it made me think. Estranged adult kids were everywhere online talking about their situation with their parents. So I thought, well, why not parents? We're people too. Why can't we?
Okay, so she's thinking that this is like an external battle that she's fighting with these adult children, rather than an internal journey that she should be going on to find the source and the root of this pain and suffering that both of them are going through. Both her and her adult child are going through pain. And instead of acknowledging the fact that her daughter is an autonomous person and has her own opinions and thoughts and feelings, and being okay with that fact, she's waging an external battle. That's how she's coming off to me, is that she's trying to wage some kind of like egotistical battle against her kid. Like, okay, so well, she can talk about it, but I can't. That's not how you should be going about this. First of all, you're screaming to the world how immature you are emotionally.
Talk about our stories for the benefit of other parents. The kids were talking about it for the benefit of other kids. What's wrong with the parents talking about it for the benefit of other parents? So the intention of that video was, again...
I'm sorry, I know I'm pausing in like odd places. I gotta ask, what qualifies you? What benefit are you giving to these parents? What qualifies you to be a mouthpiece for estranged parents? You're a big monster, and you know how big monsters act and behave and what they think and what they feel? Is that what qualifies you? I'm very curious.
Not to shame my daughter at all, it wasn't even made for her, except for the last 2 minutes, which I'll get to in a sec.
Wow, that's convenient. It wasn't even made for her, except for the part that it was. You're a piece of work.
It was for the parents suffering alone and in silence and in shame. And it also seemed like, from what I had seen in many of the parent Facebook groups out there and other online forums, I know that estrangement has been around since the beginning of time, since at least the Bible and probably before that. But it seems that it was a bigger phenomenon, and maybe that's just social media amplifying it. You know, it's just so much easier to talk to the entire world.
Yeah, I don't think that you really did this for anybody else other than yourself, ma'am. I think that you went public with this on the internet, and shared a lot of information about your daughter for yourself. I think you wanted to have contact with other estranged parents because you wanted to validate your own emotions and insecurities and feelings of guilt and shame with other people. And then you wanted to have this little kiki party and blame your kids and say they just don't get it. They're so disrespectful. That's like a favorite of these people's, like the estranged parents, talking about how disrespectful their children are. And it's just so funny to me because my parents would say the same thing. And it's like, first of all, in order to be respectable or in order to be respected, you would need to be respectable, right? Are we following that logic? I don't think people like this can really take a step back and look at their behavior and realize that, yeah, screaming at your kids is not a respectable way to behave. Belittling your kid is not a respectable way to behave. Screaming at your partner in front of your kid. Throwing massive temper tantrums as a grown-ass adult, because that's what I've endured. My mother, I remember she was like 35 years old, and I was a little kid. She had me when she was like 29 or 30. And I was like 5 years old, sitting in the living room, and my mom would be screaming at my dad, throwing stuff around, threatening divorce, saying she's gonna leave, she's gonna take the kids, she's slamming doors, which, by the way, she never overcame that. She stopped screaming so much, like the fits were, farther between the rage fits from my mom as she got older, but she still remained slamming doors. I have like low-key PTSD from door slamming. That shit will fucking set me off. But I'm consciously aware of it, so like I control myself, but like, oh my god. So yeah, no, I think this lady did it for herself, and she just wants to come off as like, oh no, she's a victim of her own daughter. Oh my god. And then there's all these other parents who are just victims of their own kids. Can you believe these disrespectful children? We did the bare minimum for them. We kept them alive because we were legally obligated to. Can you believe how they're treating us now? Get a grip.
Now on social media, but it seemed like more of a trend, and it was not just parents who had abused their child, neglected their child, beat their child. What I was seeing is that it seemed to be happening to a lot of so-called normie parents, where you had a husband and a wife and they had given their children nice middle-class lifestyles, at least here in the US. And
Look, I had a very nice middle class, maybe even upper middle class at, near the end of my time with my parents, because my parents were really good with money. They're really well off. No amount of money, no amount of cars that they could ever buy for you, because my parents did help me out with that. They helped me buy cars. They helped me get 2 cars. My first car got totaled. They helped me buy a new one. Very grateful. I was so happy and thrilled with that. No amount of money, no amount of material items will ever make up for the emotional distance that was there between me and my parents. No amount of money or material items will ever make up for the neglect that I endured by being ignored by my parents chronically, by being belittled by my parents. When I try to show them my interests and they say, ew, like I tried to show my dad music that I liked and he got mad and he said, ew, turn that off, that's garbage, that's just noise. And he was like offended. No amount of money or material items will ever make me feel like, yeah, I should go back to that. Y'all need to get a grip. your emotions and this emotional connection you feel with your kids, this bond that you should have, this love and this respect that you, first of all, need to have for your kid in order for your kid to understand what respect is, what it looks like, what it feels like, to be able to give that back to you. You're responsible for that, by the way. Money will not ever replace any of that.
Learning also the Western world. And of course, we're families. We all have our little dysfunctions. We argue, we bicker, we have disagreements, we make up. I guess what was shocking to me and my husband and other parents like us is that, you know, you can still be ghosted, you can still be cut out, you can still be estranged for,
I think it's funny that she's using the word ghosted as if this is just like just your friend. You had a friend, you were friends for like 3 years, and then, oh, your friend just ghosted you. Oh, darn, that really sucks. I wonder why she did that. Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll continue on with my life. I don't know. It's just weird to me that she's using like this like modern language of like, I got ghosted by my kid. It's just, I don't know. It's silly to me.
You know, politics or religion or whatever the difference of opinion was. There has been some kind of intolerance that is now in society. I think it's important to talk about uncomfortable things as well.
Okay, I just gotta say, she really does not see anything that she's done is wrong. So it's really impossible to like get it through to this lady, as I've also seen before, because I've seen her in the comment sections of videos. I've seen her in videos that she's made. She refuses to accept any responsibility. She refuses to do any kind of meaningful introspection, it seems like, at least, because I'm not seeing it here. This woman is coming at us as if she is 100% correct and her child is just a disrespectful brat, and as if she has nothing to do with this.
I think we should shy away from these things. This is how we learn. We face our discomforts, we talk out our discomforts. And honestly, looking at trends in society, this is not just private parents in the home being bad people. It's society as a whole is changing. And I get a lot of flack for bringing society into it. So many comments on this channel, you know, that, oh, you're just trying to deflect the blame and blah, blah, blah. It's never you. You don't take accountability. All the usual stuff. And honestly...
Okay, look, if you have multiple people, if you have hundreds of people coming at you saying you're not taking accountability and you're just going to stand there and be like, no, I'm right, everyone is wrong. Are you serious right now?
None of you know what's in my head. None of you know what accountability I've taken. And
Great. So, you know how redundant and pointless that line of thinking is? Because, okay, what if we all felt like that? What if that's your daughter's line of thinking? You don't know what's in my head. Where are we going to get with this? Anywhere productive? No, I don't think so. We're all putting walls up and we're all being egotistical and defensive. Are we going to actually get somewhere? Are we going to resolve problems? No, doesn't seem like it.
Because I don't tell the internet everything doesn't mean that I haven't reflected, that I haven't taken accountability, that I haven't accepted things the way they are. We live in a yin-yang world, right? There needs to be balance. And we have internal problems, we have external problems. So yes, sometimes it's family dynamics. There are family dynamics in our situation with our daughter and her personality that played into this, I have no doubt. And there are external factors too. Which actually brings me back to this point that All Saints Church made, which was kind of interesting too. I agree that she needed time and space, and we definitely have come around to giving that to her.
Wow, thank you so much for the permission to have time and space, because I'm not an autonomous, independent being. Thank you so much, estranged parent, for the gift of my autonomy that you granted to me.
In the beginning, it was hard to believe it was such a departure from who we knew her to be, but I get it. People change. They have
from who you wanted her to be, from the kind of box that you probably put her in, undoubtedly.
Evolve. They make new friends. Their friends influence them. You know, they make their own choices based on the stimuli in their environment. And so fine. It took me a while to get used to that. But then the way they word this, instead you involved the entire internet. You know, that was not my intent either. My intent was to create...
Excuse the F out of me. You're telling me you edited, okay, look, you got a camera, you turned it on, you recorded yourself, you edited the video yourself. I assume you don't have an editor. You did it, which doesn't even matter. You uploaded it to the internet. What, you're telling me that wasn't with the intention of including the entire internet? Make it make sense.
A small channel for parents where parents could support each other through this, for many...
No, because you're not this dumb. And you're not. You're not this stupid. You're doing mental gymnastics and you're trying to save your ass from a very, very valid critique that you got from a religious organization, no less.
Of us, very traumatic experience. I never expected so much of the internet to find this little corner and involve themselves to the point where they are hunting me and my family down and making reaction videos. It is so interesting to see so many people just on a daily basis pop into this channel, watch some portion of a 17-minute video, make all kinds of assumptions, and
Okay, how about the people that watch the entire video and are still not on your side and are still giving you valid criticism? How about that? No? You don't want to talk about those people?
Spew their feelings. And honestly, a lot of these people are hurting. I get that. It's been hard to take, honestly. I'm kind of a people pleaser, and
don't believe
I want people to like me, and
I believe that.
Don't, so I had to come to terms with that.
And it's sad. You want to know why people don't like you? It's because you don't like you. That's how it works. It's because you don't like you. And because you don't like yourself, this is how you behave. And because you have insecurities and you're not, very self-aware about yourself, this is how you behave. And now you have family drama. And now you have family drama on the internet that you involved other people in because you put it out there. This is making videos and putting it out on the internet is no different than getting a megaphone and standing on the street corner of Times Square and just shouting whatever you want in there. And then being surprised that people are looking at you and shouting stuff back? Come on.
Don't be it. It is what it is. I've had so many parents reach out and say, thank you. I thought I was alone. I was depressed. I was going to kill myself. Literally.
Congratulations for being the hero to the monstrous, abusive parents. Congrats.
Beyond words. I mean, the right people have been helped, and the wrong people, I guess, need a place to vent, and so here we are. But
the same thing could be said about you, lady.
You need to say something about the last 2 minutes of that original video. The last 2 minutes of that original video, remember, I did this 3 years after no contact, and 3 years is a good amount of time for many things in life. 3 years is about the time it takes for a plant in a garden to get established. 3 years is about the time for a business to perhaps take off.
Wow, this is so inspirational and deep. She's really getting to me. She's getting to my psyche. She's really planting something within me. A seed of love and hope is growing within me because I watched this video.
And 3 years seemed like a pretty solid time of, finality, perhaps. There may be no reconciliation. She set the boundary of do not contact me unless it's a family emergency. We have not had any family emergencies for many years now, so I am respecting her boundary.
Wow, what a feat. So proud of you. I mean, honestly, at least you can do that. I know you hate this boundary. You're very upset that she said it. And I feel like the only reason that you're actually acknowledging it and listening to her is because maybe a professional told you. Or maybe you have some amount of empathy for that because maybe there was a time where you set a boundary with someone that you didn't like who was abusive towards you. And so you understand that maybe. Congrats. I'm happy that something is getting through to you.
And with that boundary comes the realization or the acceptance or the whatever that I may never speak to her again, and I may die before, I may die with zero reconciliation. I mean, it just may be.
And it's just fucking nuts because you're going to blame your daughter for that, aren't you? Our relationship is broken and it's your fault. That's all I'm getting from this.
I have to accept that, right? I cannot put my life on hold in limbo waiting for her to do something. I can't control what she.
Trust from an adult child of people who I'm no contact with. Trust. She doesn't want you to wait. She wants you to move on. Trust. She does not want you to wait around. She does not want you like to have anything to do with her. Please, by all means, move on.
I don't want to control what she does. You may not believe that. Whatever, can't convince you. But that's truly how I feel in my heart. If I were to die without ever speaking to her again, what would I want her to know? And those last 2 minutes of that.
And see, it always comes back to you and how you feel. It has nothing to do with your daughter and how she feels. From your perspective, in your internal world, what you're spouting out online, it always comes back to you. And granted, yes, this is your channel, your video, but should you actually be making this? No. Should you actually be doing this to your family? I don't think so. And a lot of people don't think so.
Video are what I want her to know, and that is essentially that I love her and I know she has a good heart, and I'm happy that she's following her dreams, and I wish her all the best. So that's my message from the grave before the grave. Sounds really rude to say. Parents,
I don't know. This is all weird because this is all about you. You're throwing a pity party online and you want other people to come join you and validate you. I'm sorry that you're not going to really get that from most people. Most people are going to realize there's something wrong here. There's something off about you. You're not taking accountability for what's happened. You were in a power dynamic with your child who looked up to you for nurture and care and guidance, and you failed her. And now you're dealing with the consequences of failing that child over and over and over again, by the way. Because as kids, we're hardwired, biologically wired to want to love our parents. You failed.
I just want you to know that you can heal from this, and please share your stories. We need to help each other. This is not just family dynamics alone. This is our relationship with our kids, that we may have made mistakes, they may have made mistakes, and for whatever.
It's so weird. These are really immature parents, the people who are like this. We made mistakes, they made mistakes. Ma'am, you're talking like you and your daughter are on the same playing field, and you're not. You were not. Even when kids are adults, you have like their parents, your parent, even when you're an adult child, you have a parent who, there's still a difference in power dynamic. That's your parent. This person is higher up in the hierarchy scale. And your children don't trust you and they don't respect you. You're not a good leader. You were not a good guide for them. You failed.
Reason it's not working, but it's not just us and our kids, it's also the society that they live in. They are adults now. They have left the house. They are out there talking to other people, consuming other content, doing other things. So it's not 100% all on you, the parent, because they've flown the nest and they're working through all these other influences and they're trying to do the best they can with what they know. And so there are a lot of factors at play. So it's not just you. And we just have to do the best we can and move forward. And I just want you to know that you can do it. It's a process. Put your mind to it. You can do it.
Okay, look, this lady, the only thing that she should be saying at the end of this is maybe go seek professional help and therapy and counseling if you're going through issues, because I'm just a woman in a video. That's the only helpful thing that she could be saying, and she didn't say it. So anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike the video if you disliked it. Tell me why in the comments why you disliked it. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Let me know your story. Tell me your story. If you're an estranged adult child estranged from your parents, let me know. If you're an estranged parent, Let me know your story, I suppose, and we can try to figure something out in the comments. Maybe, I don't know, if maybe some delusions are going on in your line of thinking. I don't know. Obviously, I am on the side of the estranged adult children because the power dynamic. I can't get over the fact that you were the adult in the situation. You were here to guide your child. And if something went wrong and it just chronically kept going wrong and you never actually took the step back and took the time and effort and energy to figure out what you're doing wrong, then I don't know what to do for you. No one can do anything for you. And now you're reaping the consequences of your actions. It is what it is, isn't it? We all got to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves. I'm not a perfect person. There's plenty of stuff that I've done that I have to take a step back and realize, like, oh, that was really wrong. I do feel shame for this. I don't want to be like that. And I know that the highest version of myself does not act like that, does not behave like that, and is not defensive, is not egotistical and acting through my ego in my close, intimate relationships with my family members that I love and care for. Anyways, subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.